Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. Time for a box set review. I've seen a lot of people do reviews of this, and everybody's giving glowing reviews talking about how amazing it is. I want to give a more honest review of this box set. I do like the box set, don't take it the wrong way, but I haven't seen anybody say anything negative about this box set, and there are some definite negatives. And yeah, let's just jump into it. So, of course, I'm talking about the Skid Row, the Atlantic Years. This is a 3 LP and 2 EP box set. So you've got Skid Row, Slave to the Grind, Beside Ourselves EP, Subhuman Race, and Subhuman Beings on Tour, which was a Japan only EP from '96. So 3 LPs, 2 were double, and again the 2 EPs. Overall, the quality on a scale of 1 to 5, I'd give probably a 3.5 to a 4. Overall, it's really good. The box is nice. No issues there. A couple issues I do have are the, I don't know how well you'll be able to see them, but there's little marks and scuffs. You probably can't really see them. On all of the jackets. Let's see if you can, I guess you can kind of see it there. This whole edge right here. Let's see. And they're pretty much all this way. Just little scuff marks everywhere. You don't really see it on the Subhuman Race. So that was kind of an issue that I had, and I've seen this with these more cheaply made. I don't want to say it's low quality because it is pretty good quality, but they're definitely, it's a more cheaply made box set. All of the covers are basically just scans, and I wouldn't even go as far as to say they're not even high res scans. So I don't know if you can see it, but like the logo there, it's really fuzzy. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but that is same with the Slave to the Grind. This one looks pretty good, but I mean, you can still see around the edges and stuff. This is definitely way darker than the original. And then what was the insert on this one is horrible. I mean, it's ridiculous how bad that looks. So, I mean, the overall quality of the scans are better than a lot of these types of box sets that I've seen over the years. But they definitely didn't put any money into cleaning up the images. I mean, this one looks terrible. Here's an original pressing here of Skid Row. And I mean, you can see how sharp and crisp the band logo is. Even the photo on the back. It's a blurry photo to start with, but it's a lot crisper than the copy here. I mean, when you put let's do it that way. See if you can see the difference when I do it this way. You can see how blurry and muted this is compared to the original. Now, this is an original, I believe it's a UK pressing. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see which, French. It's a French pressing, so European pressing. The second issue is the pressing quality is really good. It's not great. There's a couple albums. This one, the debut, and then I think the second album from Subhuman Race, where it's kind of a noisy pressing, meaning there's little pops and clicks. Now that may clean up over time. I did clean this with my record cleaning machine. I have had a couple records over the years where after 2 or 3 cleans, it kind of cleans them up. But Usually, and actually one of these, I think it was the Skid Row. I played it real quick just to see how it sounded without the cleaning, and without the record cleaning, it sounded really bad. And part of that is because they used, the cheapest inner sleeves that you can use. No polyline sleeves. So like I said, overall, the quality of just the pressings and the overall quality of the box set, I would put on a scale of 1 to 5, between 3 and 3.5. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Now, when it comes to the sound quality, the actual pressings sound fantastic. This one, like I said, I've got the original European pressing, and this repress, it blows it away. So I don't know if I didn't look if it says if they remastered or remixed them. Let's see if it even says. It doesn't say if they remastered them or remixed them, but they sound fantastic. Whoever did the mastering did a great job. Like I said, it sounds way better than the original, noticeably different. I don't have an original pressing of Slave to the Grind, but I have the Run Out Groove pressing from last year. This one blows it out of the water. Moving it to 2 discs. That one's 2 discs as well, the Run Out Groove pressing, but there were like 3 or 4 bonus tracks on there. So they split it to 1.5. The actual Slave to the Grind album's on 1.5 LPs, and it really needed to be on 2. The noise, the sound quality definitely went down the closer you got to the groove, because they squeezed so much into that one. So I mean, as far as the actual sound quality, they blew it out of the water. I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. They did a great job with the mastering. So for that reason, I do highly recommend it. And I will say, I've always loved the first 2 Skid Rows. When Subhuman Race came out, I had already pretty much moved on. I wasn't listening to Skid Row anymore. This was 95 when this came out. And I remember hearing a couple tracks here and there. And when I first started dating my wife in 2001, was it 2000? Yeah, mid 2001. No, sorry, mid 2000, because we got married in 2001. She had a copy of it, and it was an album that she really liked. So we listened to it quite a bit then. And I remember thinking it was okay, but honestly, I didn't really remember much about it until listening to it again. And I've spun all of these at least twice, a couple of them 3 times. So like I said, I know Slave to the Grind and Skid Row very well. I bought those when they came out, played them nonstop. I love both of them. Everybody told me that this Subhuman Race was just as good as Slave to the Grind. That's definitely not the case. Is it a good album? Yes. There are some songs I enjoyed on here. I understand why the main lineup's career kind of ended with this album, though. It's very schizophrenic. They're all over the place. They don't have a sound anymore. In the first 2 albums, you knew it was Skid Row. They had their own sound. That's what kind of made them a little bit special. They were a little bit different than the other bands in the late 80s and early 90s. I think it was 89 was their first album, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 89. And they definitely had their own sound. They definitely stood out. And then when Slave to the Grind came out, they stood out even more. With this one, you can tell they weren't sure what they were trying to make everybody happy without any real direction. So you hear a little bit of Slave to the Grind here, but you can also tell in a couple songs that they were listening to Pantera. So the riffs were kind of going that direction. And then the next song you would hear, and actually most of the songs are very heavily alternative. What's the word I'm looking for? There's definitely a lot of alternative in here. They were definitely listening to a lot of Alice in Chains. There's a couple songs that are like that. So like I said, it's really schizophrenic. They're all over the place. And I think ultimately that's what kind of ended the Skid Row that we know, or that we knew. Is this a bad album? No. Is it worth the $300+ that the original pressings are going for? Definitely not. The only people I would see really loving this album are maybe the people that got into Skid Row with this album, or just the diehard Skid Row is the greatest band ever fans. Again, I'll always love their first two albums. That, you know, they're still favorites of mine. I like every song on both of them. The By Ourselves EP, or Beside Ourselves, I've always liked that as well. They do some fantastic covers. I've always loved the artwork for this. So they cover Psychotherapy from the Ramones, Come On and Love Me, which is Kiss, Delivering the Goods from Priest, What You're Doing from Rush, and then their version of Little Wing is fantastic. There are so few bands that cover Little Wing that do the vocals, and his vocals are fantastic on that. His vocals were fantastic in general. And then, of course, the Skid Row All Access, Subhuman Beings on Tour, which is actually a misprint. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. But it's, instead of Beings, it says Beigs. So they forgot the N in Beings. And from what I understand, they're all that way, at least from what I've seen posted. Again, really low quality scan all the way around. As far as the price, so I hear a lot of people talking about how great the price is. On a scale of 1 to 5, I give the price a 2. I don't think the price is good at all. I think the MSRP was $199. There's a bunch of places selling it for $165, and I had a 10% off, and I got it for basically $150, $151 with the tax. And if you look at it as you can't buy these albums individually anywhere near that price, it's a good deal. If you look at the legitimate price of records today, I mean, even if you did $35 for the double LP, $35 for the double LP, and $30 for the single, that's still $100. And then you've got 2 EPs. This one you can buy all day for right around $15, and this one's kind of a throwaway. I mean, it's okay. The songs are good. You got Slave to the Grind, Delivering the Goods, Beat Yourself Blind, Psychotherapy, Riot Act, and Monkey Business. So you've got 2 covers and 4 original songs. You know, it's not something I would have even bought if it wasn't part of this box set. But it's even if you add it up that way, 130, 120, 130 would have been the right price for this. You know, I see everybody talking, oh, well, Subhuman Race cost $250. Well, I mean, that has nothing to do with the pricing of this box set. You know, for what you get, I mean, it's 2, 4, 7 LPs. Even if you did it that way, 7 LPs. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 7. Even 7 LPs at $20 a piece is still, yeah, you know, quite a bit under what especially the MRP of $199. So my 2 cents. I mean, if you got the record store day copy and you're happy with that, I mean, even original pressings, you can get original pressings of this. The European pressing goes for $30, $35 you can find, and it's a nice pressing. Unless you're a fan and you have to have these, I don't think I'd recommend them. If you don't have Subhuman Race, if you don't have Slave to the Grind at all, you're not going to get into any of those. Slave to the Grind originals are going for about $200. The repress from last year is going for $1 to $150. So I mean, if you have to have Slave to the Grind, which is what a lot of people really just, they want Slave to the Grind, you know, maybe it's worth it. But I just, like I said, I give it a 2 out of 5 for the price. I think they should have priced it a lot better. But that's my 2 cents. Overall, I would say 3.5 out of 5. Sound quality is fantastic. It does sound great. The overall quality of the package itself is good, not great. And then the price is subpar in my opinion. So that's my 2 cents, guys. Tell me what you guys think. I know a lot of you bought it. I hope everybody's good. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Later, VC.